So my next step is I need to figure out all the different allele combinations that I could get in my gametes of both parents. And there's a nice way to do this so it's systematic and you don't kind of miss anything. I'm going to write one of the parents' genotypes over here. So we'll do this one. We have capital P, right? Lowercase p, capital A, lowercase a, heterozygous for both traits. And I like to do things systematically because I make less mistakes that way. So if you have a dihybrid cross, so you have 4 alleles, right? And each parent is only going to give one allele type to an offspring in a gamete. So they're only going to give one P and one A. And we need to know what are all the different combinations that they might give. Well, if you take the first allele and combine it with the second allele, that's one option. It could give capital P, capital A. Or you could do the first allele and the fourth allele, which would be capital P and lowercase a. You could also do the second allele and the third allele as they're listed, which would give you lowercase p and capital A. And finally, if you do the second one and the fourth one, that's lowercase p and lowercase a. Those are the 4 possible gametes that each parent who is heterozygous for both traits could give. So I'm going to list them under each parent. Just as I have them right here, I'm just going to copy them over here. And I'm going to do the same for my parent that I drew in pink. Now remember, I don't have to do this again, but if they had different genotypes, I would have to do this process again for my second parent because they could give different possible genotypes to the gametes, or they could give different alleles rather to the gametes. But here they're the same genotypes, so they can give the same types of gametes. And those are the combinations. Now that I have my gametes determined, the probability or the possible ones that they could give, I'm going to do just like I did in a monohybrid cross. I'm going to list all the different gamete possibilities along each side of my Punnett square. Now you'll notice when we did a monohybrid cross, right, we only had a Punnett square that had 4 possibilities. But when we do dihybrid crosses, because each parent has 4 possible gamete combinations they could give, we create a 4 by 4 Punnett square, which gives us 16 total squares in the middle here. So now I need to place each gamete possibility either along the side or the top. And again, it doesn't matter which one you do where, as long as you're consistent and you keep them together. I'm going to go ahead and put the blue over here on the left. And I'm going to list my pink gametes on the top. And there I have them listed. Now, all I need to do is fill in my Punnett square just as I did when I had 4 possible alleles, but I have a lot more squares now. So remember, everything from the top you're gonna bring down, and everything from the left you're gonna bring over to the right. Now when I do this, I like to match alleles that code for the same type of gene together. So I like to group my P's together and my A's together. The other thing I like to do is I like to go ahead and put capitals first and lowercase second, just because it helps me organize my thoughts when I go through this. So I'm going to show you how I fill in a couple. I'll do the first row down. So if I do my pink, right, I'm going to start with a capital P and a capital A. And I'm going to do that all the way down the chart. Just like that. Now for an example of how I fill across, right? Picture me. I'm going to take my capital P, capital A, capital P, capital A, capital P. And I'm going to do that for all the other alleles as I go.